Going to answer some more that are outstanding here, starting with Peter's request to review his landing page. All right, so let's see here. All right. Just kind of reading this over right now. So you've got a lot of good elements in here. Everything's looking pretty good. I'm not going to watch through the whole video or anything, but I'm assuming you got, I mean, this looks like really well produced. You should have pretty good arguments in there. The copy looks good. The one thing, a couple of things from, and this is on, desktop right now. You'll want to make sure that everything formats properly on mobile and that this stuff moves around properly on there. That's really key. It should, because it looks like you're using a Kartra page. Now, a couple of things that are kind of best practice things. I tend to like to have a header on my page in most cases, especially if I'm going to be selling something on the page. It just adds a lot of credibility and believability and stuff like that. Normally we'd want to have like the purchase price and everything like that and the button be above the fold here. So like probably a little bit better best practice would be to put your headline above the video and, make this text smaller below it so that it doesn't push things down, because you can truncate that a little bit, along with these elements as well. These two elements I'd leave below the video, and then this would be your headline, and then this is your sub headline, right? So those would go above the video. And if you make this text smaller, and then you kind of reduce some of this padding between these lines here below the video, you should be able to get all this stuff above the fold on desktop, and then it'll look better and format better. Other than that, I think you might want to maybe get another button and call to action, more of them into some of these spaces in here. I think that's probably pretty good where you've got that stuff, actually, now that I'm kind of scrolling through it a couple more times. Those would be like the main things. Another one just from readability is when we've got, this is called reverse type, when we've got white over a dark. That has been proven to be harder to read for people. So you might want to change that to like white and have black text that reads better. And I have clients do that all the time, and we see every single time it'll increase conversion. So those would be my recommendations for you. All right, so Stephen, on some of the other stuff on here, what I'm uncertain of is, it talks about, okay, so it says video boot camp up here, but I don't understand what local domination means, right? Like, who are we speaking to in this? It's a little bit confusing. And then when I didn't even see that. I saw this first, this kind of like blended in for me. And I was reading this, which this is fine. I would maybe make it how to double your word of mouth referrals without, and then capitalize all without. I would say without spending any time networking. And add some other things like, because they may not be doing networking at all right now. So adding this in the parentheses isn't beneficial. So I would say without networking, knocking on doors, or begging your friends, adding in like all of the things that they're worried about with asking for referrals, or sounding stupid even, or desperate, like add in all of these, the objections that they have to asking for referrals. Right? Now, this is also assuming that they're already getting word of mouth referrals, right? So if they're not, then it's not going to resonate with them, because they're going to be like, well, I'm already getting none, but they may want to get word of mouth referrals, right? So it might be better to say how to grow your business through word of mouth referrals without spending time networking, knocking on doors, begging your friends, or sounding desperate. Right? Because I would go after I would say it like that, because then it's going to, appeal to the people that already are getting referrals, because, then we can elaborate on some of this stuff, right? So this 4-day video series, I might just call it a video series because boot camp just, it sounds like too much work for this. I don't think this is the right word here. This 4-day video series will show you how you can get reliable and predictable word of mouth referrals without going to any events. Right? So that would be what I would do there. And then the call to action button should have some different text on it, like, yes, I want to get word of mouth referrals now, or yes, I want to attend the boot camp to get referrals now. Right? So I would do those kinds of things. I don't think this caption is helping you at all here. You know, it might be better to just get rid of that picture and the caption as well. I don't think it's adding any value. I mean, you could probably even remove both of these bottom pieces down here as well and just remove, you know, get it to just the copy and remove these extra elements. You might even want to remove these things here. They don't ever really add anything from what I've seen. So those are some of the things that I would test. I just think the language isn't quite dialed in enough for you. Okay, Ahmed had a question here. Is there a way to run automatic ads for the page posts into its FB page members? So whenever you post, it becomes an ad. So I have seen that feature on the page, actually, on the fan page. All right, let's see here. Here we go. Create another ongoing ad. Okay, so there's a few different results that you can choose from. So it depends on what you're doing. If you're trying to drive people to make a purchase, then you'd want to use that. You know, if you're trying to get leads, you'd want to use this one. Okay, so this actually gives you an entire article on it. So I'm going to post the link for that as well. And then I'm going to hit this get started button here. Okay, so this is actually trying to use a lead form. So I don't want to do that. I'm going to just choose get people to the website for a second. Okay, so it looks like this wants to have me create the ad. So I'm not sure if this is even the automated ads piece here. Let me look around a little bit more. Okay, so I went through the article and it talks about clicking the promote button. So when you do that, this comes up right here. But none of these will allow you to pull in posts automatically. So, when it's talking about these are automated ads here, this ongoing ad. So you do have to put creative in there and then it will automate it. So it's not just pulling your posts and doing that automatically, unfortunately. So that is the answer to your question. Okay, so Alexis had a question here about regular posts and an ad strategy. So he's building a simple squeeze page funnel with a lead magnet. He writes 1 blog post per month, which is really good. And then he's wondering if it's smart to use the blog post in the overall strategy. Yeah, absolutely. So, one of the main forms of, marketing is to go content first, and then you can, you drive traffic to that article and or blog post, and the blog post is going to have links that go to your lead magnet and stuff in there, and it transitions over, and you got ways for people to opt in for that on that page. But then what you do is you create an audience of people that have visited that page, a custom audience, and then you can run a separate ad to those people, driving them to your lead magnet, and you'll generally see a lot higher conversions on your lead magnets when you do that. But where people can get really stuck with that is, a lot of times the cost of the content ads, driving it to the blog, can really inflate your overall expense and costs. And so in many cases, it can make your cost of acquisition go up if you do that. So you got to make sure that you're, monitoring your numbers appropriately across both of those pieces, and then you can get it to work right. Cool. That looks like everybody's outstanding question is answered. To the Victor Belongs Spoils, this is Jason.